Hey class, today's lesson we are talking about polynomials, linear factors, and zeros, which is found in section 5-2, part 1 of your book. We are going to analyze the factor form of a polynomial and to write a polynomial function from its zeros. So in example 1 it says, what is the factor form of the polynomial below? So we have x cubed minus 2x squared minus 15x. So technically we really haven't done too much factoring with anything higher than a quadratic expression, so we kind of want to force this to be a quadratic expression. So in order to do that, we will factor out its greatest common factor, which is x. So if I take out an x, I'm left with x squared minus 2x minus 15. Don't forget that the x is out there. It'll come back in the final answer. From here, on this particular step, we can do AC. AC will give us negative 15, and the factors of negative 15 that will give us negative 2 are 3 and 5. In particular, it will be positive 3 and negative 5. So we're going to replace negative 2x with positive 3x and minus 5x. So here we go. X is still there. We have x squared plus 3x minus 5x minus 15. Okay, group and group. X is still out there. Now we're going to find the greatest common factor of x squared and 3x. It's also x. We're left with x plus 3. The greatest common factor for the second half is negative 5, and that is also x plus 3. So our three factors are x from the very beginning, x plus 3, the duplicated factor here, and then x minus 5, which is the factor found between the parentheses. And we are done. Okay, let's try that again on the next example. So again, find the greatest common factor. Our greatest common factor is x. What's left over is x squared minus x minus 12. From here, we want to do AC with just this part. And the AC here will give us negative 12. Now, the factors of negative 12 that will give us negative 1 are 3 and 4, specifically positive 3 and negative 4. And we're going to replace that with that negative x position. So here we go. X squared plus 3x minus 4x minus 12. Group the first half, group the second half. X, what's left over is x, parentheses, x plus 3. And then negative 4, and that's going to be x plus 3. So x is the first factor, x plus 3 is the second, and x minus 4 is the last one. All right, so in example 2, at this point, we're in factored form and we want to know what the zeros are. And we've technically kind of done this when we were left in factored form when they were quadratics, because we would just have two factors. Now we have three. But either way, we will still set these factors equal to 0. So x plus 2, if I set that equal to 0, the first 0 will be negative 2. Why? Because x plus 2, if you set it equal to 0, subtract 2. And you're left with x equal to negative 2. So that's negative 2. The next one will be 1 for the same reason. And the last one will be 3. So the zeros for that function are negative 2, 1, and 3. So that's where our graph is going to cross the x-axis, is at negative 2, 1, and 3. Let's keep going. So we're going to try this again. So again, set each factor equal to 0. So the first one is pretty obvious. It's going to be 0. The next one is going to be 3. And the last one is negative 5. Our last set of examples, we are writing a polynomial function from its zeros. So the first thing we need to do is take the zeros to write its factors, and then from its factors we need to get it into standard form. So let's look at that process. So x minus 2 as a factor, if negative 2 is a 0, then the factor is its opposite, so it'll be actually x plus 2. Again, we already have another x minus 2, so again that's going to be x plus 2. The 0 factor that is 2, that's going to make that x minus 2. And the last one that is 3 is going to make that x minus 3. All right, so if we multiply, okay, I'm actually going to group these in twos, group that one and group that one. I'm going to choose to do the box method to make it a little bit neater for us. So that'll be x and 2, that's going to be x squared, 2x, and 4. So if I combine those like terms, this first part here is going to be x squared plus 4x plus 4. Okay, that's still being multiplied. The next one is x and negative 2, x and negative 3, so it's x squared minus 3x minus 2x plus 6. Remember, those are like terms, so this becomes x squared minus 5x plus 6. All right, from there, we need to multiply those two finally, so we're going to do a larger box. This is going to be a 3 by 3. So this is x squared, 4x, and 4. This is x squared, negative 5x, and 6. So let's see, when we multiply, that's going to give us x to the 4th, negative 5x cubed, 6x squared. That's a squared. Moving on, 4x cubed, negative 20x squared, 24x below that. Upper right hand corner, that's going to be 4x squared, negative 20x, and below that is 24. And again, our diagonals are still like terms, so I have the x to the 4th. Here's my x cubed. Here's my x squared. Here's my x. So if I combine those like terms, y will equal x to the 4th. If I add my x cubes, that's going to give me negative x cubed. If I add my x squareds, that's going to be 10 minus 20. That's going to be negative 10x squared. Keep going. That's going to be plus 4x and then plus 24. So there's our answer. Okay, we have one more try to do. And we're going to follow the same process. All right, so we have 3 numbers as our zeros. So our powers won't be as high. So let's try it. So our first 0, remember your factor is going to be opposite of what your 0 is. So that would be x plus 2 for the first one, x minus 2 for the next one, and x minus 3 for the last. I'm still going to do 2 at a time, so that's a box. So this is x and 2, x and negative 2. So it's going to be x squared minus 2x plus 2x minus 4. Combine your like terms, so that's going to give us x squared. Those are actually gone, right? Minus 4. And I'm going to multiply that by x minus 3. So again, I'm going to use a box. So that's x squared and negative 4, and then x and negative 3. So this is going to be x cubed. That's a cubed. Negative 3x squared, negative 4x, and finally positive 12. And you got to be careful here because these diagonals are not like terms. And it's because there is a gap here between that x squared and the next number, okay? So our final answer here is going to be y equals x cubed minus 3x squared minus 4x plus 12. And we are done. Remember, guys, if you have any questions, come see me for tutoring. Otherwise, we are done with our lesson.